We all want to be happy, right? I mean, of course we do. But what if I told you that the very act of chasing happiness is the one thing that guarantees you'll never catch it? Today, we're diving into the pretty wild philosophy of Alan Watts to uncover his surprising and, honestly, game-changing secret to a happier life.
So let's just start with a question that I think we've all felt. Why is the constant pursuit of happiness so draining? You know the feeling. You hit a goal, you get the thing you wanted, and there's this little blip of joy. But then it fades. And just like that, you're back on the treadmill chasing the next thing. It's exhausting.
And this leads us to this really weird paradox. It's like trying to catch your own shadow. The harder you run after it, the faster it moves away from you. It's this super frustrating loop. And according to the philosopher Alan Watts, it's not an accident, it's a trap.
Which brings us to our first big idea, the happiness trap.
Think about it. From the time we're kids, we're basically taught that happiness isn't just a natural state of being, but it's a prize you win. It's the reward you get after you get the great job, or the perfect relationship, or the dream house. It's always just over the horizon, something you have to earn. And of course, this is the perfect setup for a culture that's all about consuming and producing, always keeping us striving for that next thing that promises to finally make us happy.
So, what's the diagnosis for this trap? Well, Watts had a brilliant name for it. He called it the backwards law.
Okay, stick with me here because this is where it gets really interesting. The backwards law says that wanting a positive experience is, by its very nature, a negative experience. Why? Because when you're desperately craving happiness, you're just shining a giant spotlight on how unhappy you are right now. The flip side is just as wild. Accepting a negative experience, like feeling anxious, can actually be a positive thing because you finally stop fighting it.
Watts had this perfect analogy for this. Picture yourself in the water. If you panic and you start thrashing around, struggling to stay up, what happens? You wear yourself out and you sink. But if you just relax, lie back, and let the water hold you, you float effortlessly. The desperate attempt to save yourself is the very thing that pulls you under.
And this isn't just about swimming, right? This is happening in our heads all the time. Have you ever tried to force yourself to fall asleep? It's impossible. The harder you try, the more awake you feel. Telling yourself don't be anxious just makes you more aware of the anxiety. It's like trying to hold water in a clenched fist. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers.
So, if trying harder is actually the problem, then what on earth is the solution? Well, it all comes down to letting go of control.
And this is the big, mind-bending takeaway. The solution isn't some new life hack or a better strategy to achieve happiness. The real solution is to stop trying, to just stop the chase. It's about letting go of this idea that you have to constantly manage and wrestle your own feelings into submission.
So how do you actually do that? You can think of it as a three-step process. First, just become aware of it. Recognize when you're on that frantic hamster wheel. Second, consciously stop grasping. Stop trying to force the feeling away or cling to a different one. And third, and this is the hardest part, just allow things to be what they are, without judging them. In other words, you let yourself float.
Really, all of this just boils down to one simple but incredibly powerful idea: embracing the present moment. Happiness is not in some future destination. The only place it can ever be experienced is right here, right now, by being fully present with whatever's happening, the good, the bad, all of it.
To really help us get this, Watts used another incredible analogy, one he called life is music.
Just think about your favorite song for a second. Is the whole point of the song just to get to that final note? Of course not. If it was, the best composers would just write finales. No, the whole point of the song is the song. Every note, every beat, every silence along the way.
This is such a huge shift from how we're taught to see life. We're told life is a journey where the whole point is to arrive at some destination, like graduation, or marriage, or retirement. But Watts says no. Think of life as music, or as a dance. The point isn't to get to one particular spot on the floor. The whole point is to dance.
So what does this mean in real life? It means the purpose of what you're doing is the doing itself. We get so obsessed with the outcome that we completely miss the experience. The real joy isn't just in finishing the book, it's in the reading. It's not just in winning the game, it's in the playing of it.
So, let's bring this all home with one final thought.
In the end, the big secret is that happiness was never a thing to be found out there. It wasn't a prize at the finish line. It's simply the quality of attention you bring to the present moment. It's the sudden realization that you're already in the middle of the dance. You just have to start listening to the music. And so I'll leave you with a question to think about. If the chase is the problem, what's one thing in your life, a goal, an expectation, a feeling, that you could just stop chasing today? What would happen if you just let go a little bit and started to enjoy the music instead?